In normal circumstances, it is quite difficult, but adding the quarantine and the crisis, it's becoming more and more difficult because right now I'm working and I'm being a mom, but they're also expecting us to do the work as teachers. They're sending us every day things to do with our children, and most of the time there's only one thing that I can do, or two of these things, but not three of them. And so it's very hard.
Welcome, Spear Lifters. I hope you're all doing well today. Today, we have two super moms on this special episode ahead of Mother's Day who will be speaking about their lives during this time of quarantine. Leah, who's in the UK, and Anna, who is here in Mexico City. Welcome to Spear Lift.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, can I call you both super moms? Is that all right?
Definitely.
You feel like a super mom, both of you?
To be honest, I don't, because I feel that if there are moms that are not super,
Okay.
I haven't met them by now, because I would say every mom is a super mom, and I would say like either we're all super moms or we're just all moms trying our best. Yeah.
Oh, very interesting. Anna, let me ask you something. What have been the opportunities and challenges of motherhood for you in this time of quarantine?
Well, I'd say that as a working mom in normal circumstances, it is difficult as it is, because you have to balance out the time you dedicate to your child, but also the time you dedicate to work. And for me, I always have this feeling when I'm with my child that I'm not doing enough for my work, and then when I'm working that I'm not spending time with my son. And so in normal circumstances, it is quite difficult, but adding the quarantine and the crisis, it's becoming more and more difficult because right now I'm working and I'm being a mom, but they're also expecting us to do the work as teachers. They're sending us every day things to do with our children, and most of the time there's only one thing that I can do, or two of these things, but not three of them. And so it's very hard. And I mean, in a normal period, I'd say I'd go to bed very tired, but right now I'm going to bed like really, really tired. And so it's really hard on me. And I'd say that I'm in a privileged situation because at my house there are no like gender traditional roles. So my husband does his role as a parent and helps out a lot. But I know that for other women, especially in Mexico, when the culture expects women to do all of these chores, it is especially hard for them. And so it's tough in terms of challenges, but opportunities, they do come as well. That's I mean, what they call a crisis. Crisis means that it might be a very difficult moment, but it's also a moment of opportunity for other things. And so it has allowed me to be to spend more quality time with my child. You know, something that I normally don't do, at least during the week. I get to spend that type of quality time during the weekend, but not during the weekend. That has been really, really nice.
Yeah, excellent. And Leah, same to you. What have been the opportunities and challenges, and have some of those things that Anna's expressed relate to you?
Definitely, and I'd say that the opportunity and the challenge is pretty much the same. The opportunity is that I'm spending all my time with my kids. As you say, it's a rare opportunity. But the challenge is also that I'm spending all my time with my kids, right, because they are always there. If I'm working, or if I'm getting dressed, or if I'm going to the toilet, they are all there. So we're having, good days, bad days. It sounds a bit like a cliche, but I'm trying to be more positive because, as you said, we're also fortunate. At the end of the day, all we have to do is stay at home. It's not easy because we have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and everyone's like on top of each other. But overall, I think we're quite fortunate. It's also different now. It's week 6 here in UK lockdown, and it's so funny. If you look at your photos from week 1, it's like, wow.
Yeah. Bliss.
Now I just put them on a trampoline and like throw Kit Kats into the trampoline. I take it very seriously, but I just mean like, I think we've relaxed a bit. We're talking a bit about schools might come back in 5 weeks, so we're actually just making the most out of it. Interesting. Both, you know, your guys' insights with that. Like, what? I mean, do you think that, or in your own way, that you would want anything that, you know, we're experiencing now, and for you both being, you know, having children and living the situation as super moms, like, would want to change more permanently for the long run? Like, okay, you know, boss, you know, Leia, you're your own boss, I know, in with what you do, but like, I don't know. I mean, having more time spending at home, you know, like during the week, half a week, you know, like changing that dynamic of the you know, role of work, you know, being physically somewhere or being remotely somewhere, is that of interest for either of you?
Yeah, well, definitely. What I have found is that a lot of the meetings that required me to go to another place and take my car and, I don't know, use like 1 hour of my time to get to that place could like easily be done via Zoom.
Right.
And so, yeah, I think this can allow at least me to, I mean, reschedule or think differently about all the meetings that I do have. But I do also understand that there is this like human experience that is necessary in seeing other people, right? That it's not just about the meeting per se, but it's just about the relationship that you build when you are in front of the other person. And so maybe some meetings can be done via Zoom, but I mean, I would like to spend more time with other people that I do spend time with them at work, in other places. But please.
No, that's great. And I think it's you know, definitely a game changer that will take place in the future for sure in many ways. What about you, Leia? Do you agree with that sentiment?
Yes, absolutely. And I was going to jump in with the whole discovery that we can actually do meetings in online via Zoom in our own time. For example, here in the UK, not for every employer, a lot of employers are really modern, but there's so much faff over whether you're allowed to or not to drop off and pick up your kids at school, because it's seen as it's eating too much time into the workday. And I hope that this proves that you can do that and then finish off the work from home if you want to. If you don't want to, then you don't have to. But I hope this is the beginning of people trusting their employees more to live their lives as they see fit. For example, if they want to pick up their kids at school, they can do so.
Yeah. And I also would like to add that I have found myself that I'm obviously not buying almost anything except food, right? And
right. Saving money.
Saving money, but also like consuming less, which is important for the planet. And so there's a lot of things that you can, I mean, toys that you can build with things that you have in your house that maybe I wouldn't have normally done. I would have gone to the toy store, maybe, but now we are trying to be more imaginative and curious about what we can do, and that there are a lot of resources online and things that they can teach you about doing yourself things for your kids. So
go ahead, Leia. Sorry.
I think a lot of parents around the world are really starting to appreciate the work that teachers do and childminders, nurseries, and how essential that is for the whole society. So I think that will be a really big outcome as well, just that's really appreciated.
Well, and Anna, you can speak to that, that's you're in that area. So what do you think?
Yeah, well, yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think teachers, except particular countries, maybe Finland, but they teachers don't get as paid as they should. Well, when they're doing like the most important work there could possibly be. And so I think, we're not appreciated enough for that type of work,
Yeah. Yeah, it's all this whole situation's putting a lot of things into perspective, I think, it's just, and Leia, I know you've been to Mexico and we're here in Mexico City. I mean, the air outside is actually better, I mean, we're known to have really, really bad air in Mexico City, but with this whole situation, the actual environment makes it acceptable to be outside and actually hear birds, smell air, like it's a new phenomenon, being here in this city, so that's it. And London's pretty populated as well, and there's issues regarding that. So
yeah, it's amazing. For example, normally planes land like every 3 minutes above, well, not land, but they fly over our house every 3 minutes, and there are no planes, so that's really nice. And as you say, we can birds, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add with homeschooling, because I'm coming at it from the view of a mum of toddlers, which is pros and cons, but I think it's very challenging for the older children, parents who have slightly older children, because if they fall behind, a few months, it's actually really make or break for the next year. So I just wanted to say, in case what I said sounded quite light-hearted, it's very different, although it's also challenging with toddlers because they run around, etc. But every age has its sort of pros and cons, and I feel for parents with slightly older children, because the curriculum will be really challenging.
Sure. Anna, you can speak to that. Your child's a bit older now, right?
Yeah, but I also think that all of this period has made me think of what are children being taught at in school. For example, sometimes, I don't know, in Mexico, they teach children Chinese and other foreign languages, but they don't know how to clean up after themselves. They don't know how to cook anything. They don't know where to find their toys or make their own toys, and so I think we need to reevaluate our education system, because we need children that learn maybe how to grow their own food, how to take care of the environment, and things like that are more important about to build their future, and to think about the circumstances that we are in right now and what brought us to this point in the world. And I think we need to bring children that are much more conscious about those things, about the environment, about the role that teachers have in society, the role that nurses and doctors have as well. And so we need to start bringing up our children with, I think, those values.
And also to add to that, I think it's amazing how at the beginning of the coronavirus, family units were so surprised to hang out with each other. So married people and parents with their kids, and actually we're so used to hanging out with our colleagues who we don't know after X amount of years. So it's hopefully also going to reshuffle all of that, so that we spend more time with the people we love and less time with people we that are not part of our family, as cliche as that sounds, but that's really interesting as well.
100% agree with that. And what, just as we conclude right now, for both of you, Anna and Leia, what, thinking about everything you're saying as well, what would be I know you both have time taken away from you in different ways right now, and challenges with that, especially with the kids and ways that didn't really you anticipate before, right? So like you as Leah, you as Anna, what advice would you give to all the moms, all the super moms out there to do for themselves to really, develop, or just in what way take time for themselves just to really, because we got to take care of ourselves individually too. And you as moms, super moms have, a really big role to play in, your own lives, your family's lives, in many ways. So what advice would you give moms out there right now to really take the time for themselves and just kind of embrace their own selves? Sorry, I'm not explaining that right. I hope you got the gist of what I'm trying to say.
Definitely. I think the message I would like to send is that we need to be kinder to ourselves, because we are going through a lot. As I said, even under normal circumstances, working and doing what is expected from us as mothers is a lot of work. But right now it's way too much. So if it's okay if you had a really rough day. It's okay if you didn't do things perfectly. It's okay if the house is dirty. It's okay if your kids watched a little bit more TV than you wanted to. It's time for us to be really kind to ourselves, because also I feel like as moms we become like the thermometers of how our kids feel as well. And so it's important for them to see us okay, and to understand that it's a crisis, and it's not maybe a moment to be super fit and to learn a new language. No, we just need to get through this as we can, even if it's not perfect. And
very interesting. Wow. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Leah?
So I totally agree. It's all about being kinder to yourself. If you are living with a partner, I definitely think you need to split the tasks so that it's as equal as it can be. And that's rightly so includes time for yourself. So not just time for work, time for the kids, time for your relationship, but also time for yourself. So a bit of me time, whatever that is. Is it yoga? Is it taking a bath, reading a book? That's really important. And I've actually, an overall tip, I found it really useful to actually go down the slightly less fun route and the slightly more healthy route. So I'm drinking less wine than I was at the beginning of the lockdown, just because you're being pulled from so many strings. So at least I'm waking up, as fresh as I can be. And maybe that's a little bit of an odd tip, but I just think if you're adding that bit of fun every night, then the mornings are hard. So I think that works really well for me to be as healthy as I can be.
Yeah, absolutely. That's excellent. Well, Leah, Anna, thank you both so much for being on this episode of Spirit Lift ahead of Mother's Day. I wish you both a very happy Mother's Day. You're both super people, super moms, and this has been such a pleasure. We thank you so much. And we thank all you Spirit Lifters and super moms out there, all the moms, and we wish you a really happy Mother's Day as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.